team, all the way from Omaha, super excited to have them. They actually run their group is a 501c3 nonprofit. They bring comedy and knowledge to lots of underserved groups in Omaha. They do shows for hospitals, shows for kids, everything you can imagine. And they're actually going to perform tonight, but they're going to have a few special guests from Kansas City, including RC. It's just going to be fairly family friendly, so it's going to be fun to see RC not say the things she likes to say. Without further delay, big canvas, come on up here. Hi, everybody.
Hey.
Woo.
We are Big Canvas, all the way from Omaha. Thank you for having us here and for providing all this wonderful weather to drive in. A lot of fun. We love coming to Kansas City. We're very excited for this. I'm very excited for our special guests. But first, let's introduce ourselves. My name is Tracy.
And I am Eric.
It's good you repeated it back to us because you'll be quizzed later. We do specialize in family-friendly improv. I mean, I do. Eric,
I make no promises.
gets us kicked out of all kinds of places. But yeah, it'll be a fun challenge.
Yes.
But it's not a problem at all. Yeah, we do short-form improv. So if you're familiar with, have you seen Whose Line Is It Anyway? We do short game-based improv that you might have seen figures like that. And we will start off with a game, Eric and I, and then we'll welcome our guests onto the stage to join us. This first game we're going to play is a game called ABC.
Yes. So the way that this game works is we will do this together, and we will start, and each person, whenever the other person speaks, their next line has to start with the next letter of the alphabet. So if I started with A, Tracy would have to start with B, and I have to start with C, and we'll go through the alphabet, and then we will get to the end. But because that is too easy to start with A, can we have a random letter of the alphabet?
Yes.
Why? As much as I want to start with Y, we'll actually start with L. We like Y a lot. That's why. So on top of that, give us a relationship that's non-sexual that we would have together.
Orthodontist and patient.
Orthodontist and patient. It's going to be that night. All right, awesome. So orthodontist and patient starting with the letter L.
Look, right back in here. Can you see it, right? It's just killing me, Doc. It's just killing me.
Mary, you're a hygienist. I can't work on you now. You have a patient to be dealing with.
No! You gotta do something. It's just, you can't expect me to just keep working for the rest of the day or just like this. It's getting worse and worse. You can tell from my work is becoming more uncomfortable.
Oh, really? It's becoming hard. It's not you putting on some kind of voice to make it bad. Like, this is no better than calling in sick, Mary.
Putting on some kind of voice? That's not what I'm doing.
Quit lying to me, Mary. Quit lying to me right now. There's nothing wrong with your mouth. You need to go in there and clean Mrs. Robinson's teeth.
Really? Mrs. Robinson?
Sandra is a lovely woman. I don't want you disparaging Sandra Robinson. Clean her teeth. You gotta get in there. She's a wily lady. She only bites moderately, so, you know, make sure she doesn't drool.
Tonsils are looking well, Mrs. Robinson.
Under the tongue, too. Come on. You got her tonsils. Make sure you go under.
Very, very nice.
Wow. Really?
Whoops.
Here we go. Wow.
X-rays. We're definitely going to need some X-rays.
Yeah. We'll need
doctor. Please just let me leave. If you're not gonna operate on me first, just let me go home.
Orthodontist work's never done. Alright. A orthodontist works never done. Are you trying to correct my grammar right now?
Believe me, I would never do that to you. I know that you're...
Care to explain to me what happened to your mouth problem?
Dang! It's all It's a miracle.
Everything is good now.
Fine. Just super great. Guess I better go work on Mrs. Robinson.
Good.
Here we go. Just ready to get right. You've been brushing. This is some fine work, really. Making flossing and everything.
I don't think she's going to be able to say anything.
Just could we have a minute to ourselves while I'm doing my work? Do I need you over my shoulder this whole time?
Knowledge. You need knowledge of what's going on.
Let me go get the spit bucket.
And that was ABC. Every good scene should end with, let me go get the spit bucket.
Let's see how many scenes we can end with. With our next game, we'll welcome on our guests, Arcee and Linda. And for this, we need your help. This is a game called Text from Last Night. So I need 2 volunteers to volunteer their cell phones and pull up a text conversation that you don't mind being read aloud.
Ideally something that doesn't have like a lot of pictures, but a lot of like words.
Right.
Text. I know that doesn't happen as much as it should.
All right.
We already have one volunteer.
Thank you.
Yeah, just make sure, and also make sure that your lock screen doesn't kick on if you can help it. So we have one more.
Good. I got it.
You can't delete them now. We just need them.
Not this conversation. Not this one.
I know they put them in the block.
Oh, okay, that's all right. As long as we keep scrolling.
Yeah,
I think we've got.
we're good. All right. Well then, Arcee and Linda, they have our cell phones as volunteered from the audience.
Yay.
Now,
You get to say anything that you want to during this scene. And basically the way that this is going to work is Tracy can say whatever she wants. However, Arcee and Linda can only speak from the text messages that they read on the phone. And somehow Tracy has to make sense of that. So what we need from you guys for this scene is give me a place that you would go to knock something off your to-do list.
Post office.
Post office, love that. So this is a scene that is in a post office. So whenever you're ready, Tracy.
all right, ladies and girls, this is important. We've got a lot of Christmas letters to get out. It's important to start early. All right, October. I'm already feeling the pressure tonight, ladies. I'm typically at least an August Christmas card lady.
And this is Erin. I see all of you tomorrow. Please wear closed-toed shoes. Improv is a contact sport.
Ow!
I told you.
Please, no fight. I know. We all understand that improv is a contact sport. We've been thank you again, by the way, for enrolling me in those classes. It's been very enriching. It's important for a woman in my years to get out there and meet new people and find a lot of reasons to cuss.
7 p.m. in the Black Box.
Wonderful. I really would like to get these letters mailed, though. I don't want us to get sidetracked with the wonderfully enriching improv that everyone should do, and if they don't, I'm sure someone's teaching classes about it. You can't just put it on a photo. Oh. We agreed this year we would do the whole family photo. It's been so nothing personal in the past few years, just the salutations, little graphic of Holly in the corner.
Maybe, but the realistic factor happens when you use the augmented reality.
So you're saying it's going to be upsetting for people to see all of us in our holiday clothes against a backdrop from David Lynch's Dune.
I don't like that when anyone...
Well, nobody likes David Lynch's Dune. It was a mistake. You have to at least appreciate it as a relic of its time. Imagine if we had directed Return of the Jedi. No.
Anyone outside? Anyone inside? I'm locked out front.
Oh,
Send me a picture with your ankle or arm exposed.
yes, hold up.
Hey gang, locked out.
LOL, okay.
Girls, please, let's let her in. We don't need to fight about this. And I don't know what's gotten into you with your weird Victorian kinks. Ankles and elbows.
I'm coming over there.
It is 2017.
Should be there by 5:30.
Hey, I'm gonna be a little late. I never got the text that we had rehearsal tonight, so sorry about that.
Let her in so she can help with these letters. We've had rehearsal tonight. We're learning the Armando. Come on.
No worries, Sienna. We will be in rehearsal every day Wednesday unless otherwise noted.
I don't know what you're thinking about. The augmented reality. That sandworm is downright holiday festival. He's got a hat and antlers.
No awkwardness at all.
Right. I think it looks completely natural.
I'll have a scene there. I'll have a scene there. Thank you both for. I didn't realize doing could be so festive.
I didn't even get to all the other movies they
For
were
an expert.
down
For an expert.
All right, for this game, Eric and I are, that's right, your chair is not good enough for me.
Okay.
Eric is an expert on something. He's here to answer all of your questions. Unfortunately, he's not comfortable with English language. So I'll be translating for him. What I need from you guys is what topic is Eric an expert on?
NBA.
Ooh.
Dog training.
This is a real,
Dirty Olympics. Cat behavioral
I, you know what, the NBA was the first thing I heard. I love squirrel socializing though. It was a real, I don't know, it was a real close one there. Eric is an expert on the NBA. We'll start things off. Eric, thank you so much for being here. I'm so glad you're here. I'll be translating for you. I'll be taking questions from the audience about your favorite topic, the NBA. First of all, I'll ask you, Eric, what first interested you in the NBA? He says that his favorite thing, what drew him into the NBA, was it's a communal experience where everyone gets together to watch other human beings pass a sphere to each other and scream at it. I don't know any different than that about the NBA, so I think that's very correct. Any questions from the audience about the NBA?
Yeah, I have a question.
Yes.
There have been a lot of rule changes recently in the NBA. What are your feelings and sentiments about that?
Have there been any rule changes in the NBA, and if so, what are your feelings? There have been a few rule changes as they come by, and for the most part, have not been bothersome to me. But the one that is just really upsetting is that they no longer allow any of the players to play basketball in the nude. It's just really hampered my enjoyment in it, as nothing is more fun than watching people run back and forth on the court with all of their appendages flapping around. Next question. Yes.
Why isn't there a team in Kansas City?
Why isn't there a team in Kansas City? It's because of the Kansas City mob. You gotta pay up to play up. Next one, yes.
Is LeBron James going to get 60 games in?
Is LeBron James gonna get 60 games in? Of what? Sorry.
Actual play time.
He would have had he not suffered a serious ligament injury while volunteering at a pancake feed. Twisted his ankle flipping jacks for needy children. One final question about the NBA. Oh, yes.
If I wanted to get my basketball trained squirrels into the NBA, how would I do that?
If she would like to get her basketball trained squirrels into the NBA, how would she proceed? You gotta really look them in the eye to know that they are serious. They're gonna give the level of commitment that is needed to win the game of games. Then, once you've done that, and applying a series of electrodes to each squirrel, you then stack them on top of each other so they approximate human height. And of course, a basketball player's human height is different than, say, your or mine. But once they are tall enough to appear as a basketball player, you dress them in a jersey, masquerade them as a human, send them out, and you've got yourself the next Michael Squirrelman. Do you have any parting words for our audience? Basketball rules. Thank you guys so much. Our next game is a game called Question This. This is a game for Eric and RC and they are going to be contestants on a game show, which I host. This is a game not unlike Jeopardy, but just unlike it enough to avoid legal repercussions. So, they are going to be answering in the form of a question. But what's going to happen, they're going to be asking for choosing a category from the board. I'll need your help, your assistance. In whatever category they choose, I want you to shout out the first thing you can think of to fit in that category. They will then have to take your suggestion and use that as the answer to a question. We'll proceed to just become angrier and angrier at Eric as the game goes on. Who's Eric? We don't know because we have 3 contestants here I have yet to meet. Thank you so much for joining us on the show. Please, contestants, introduce yourself. Contestant number 1, tell us your name and a little bit about yourself.
Hi, my name's Elmer Dinkley. I run Dinkley Motors. We specialize in Tauruses.
Thank you, Elmer. It's excited to have you here.
That's right.
Specialize in Tauruses. Wonderful. Contestant number 2, tell us your name and a little bit about yourself.
Hi, my name's Hattie. I won the spelling bee at our middle school, and my mom just keeps putting me in more quiz type competitions. There's some fun people here.
Yes, there are. Thank you, Hattie, for being here. Thanks your mom for overbearing. Contestant number 3.
My name is Pamela Scott. Oh my god, I'm so happy to be here. I've tried out I don't know, 100 times. I don't know what is it, Tom, yeah, I got here. I'm here.
I'm glad we can make this dream come true for you, Pamela. We're so excited here. Let's get things started. We had the coin toss before the game. Elmer, you got the coin toss. When you have first pick of category from the board.
All right, I'm gonna go with U.S. states for 26.
U.S. states.
Minnesota.
Minnesota. Contestant number 7.
What do you purchase when you have a small allowance and also a very tiny bladder?
That is correct, Hattie. You have control of the board.
Fashion today.
Fashion today. Oh, say that again?
Overalls.
Overalls. Elmer.
What is the complete fashion? Overall.
Contestant number 2.
What do you try to get your mom to convince when looking at her go report card instead of that one stupid class that you hate?
You want to look at it overall.
Really, please, Mom?
It's math, isn't it?
Yes.
Okay.
That is correct, Hattie. You have control of the board category.
Embarrassing moments.
Embarrassing.
Wetting the bed.
Wetting the bed. Elmer.
It's how I grow things. You can't do nothing with a dry bed.
Pamela.
How to become president.
Wetting the bed. For at least, who knows how many years. That's right. You have control of the board, Pamela. Pick a category.
Rabbit ears.
Rabbit ears. Rabbit ears? Rabbit ears.
Where's that category?
Rabbit ears.
Playboy bunnies.
Say, what bunnies?
Playboy bunnies.
Playboy bunnies. Patty?
What you have to do in the middle school play when all the female lead parts are already taken.
That's right. Patty, you got control of the board for the category.
Foreign currency.
Peso.
Peso. Elmer?
It's how I figure out how fast the O is going.
You got a peso.
A pace the O.
Yeah. That is correct, Elmer.
I'm gonna go with SAT words for 36.
Brad Pitt. Masticate. Cromulent. Curmudgeon. Flubbergasted.
You know what? The first one was Brad Pitt. That's your SAT word, Brad Pitt. Yes.
What's a word that apparently has a silent S? There is no S in Brad Pitt. Okay, screw you guys. Is it because I'm a guy? Is that why?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, all right.
Patty.
What's the only good thing to come out of MU?
Pamela.
How to get more children out of divorce.
Be Brad Pitt. That's right. That's correct, Pamela. You have control of the board. Pick a category.
Terriers.
Terriers.
Cocker spaniel.
Cocker Spaniel.
And
Elmer.
how to be able to make her like her spaniel. Oh, screw you guys.
I guess that's correct.
All right.
This is our lightning round. First person to 2 correct answers wins the game. Eric, pick a category.
I'm gonna go with colors.
Purple. Seafoam.
Purple. Purple.
Turquoise.
Purple. Elmer.
How many tickets I get? I get one per poll.
I would ask a follow-up question, but I know better. That's correct. You got control of the board.
All right, I'm gonna go with occupations.
Octopus hunter.
Octopus hunter.
What is the toy and the person to whom it receives the toy? It's octopus hunter. They don't get no better.
As we've illustrated tonight.
Yeah.
That is correct! But has anyone really won?
No one's won.
No.
No one ever wins. So we're gonna move on now to our next game, which is hesitation.
Yes, this is a game for Eric and I. We're going to need your help on this again. We're going to be doing a scene together. But at any time during the scene, we may be drawing a blank. So we will gesture at you and say, like we're searching for a word. I want you to shout out the first word that comes to your head. First thing that we hear, that is the word we have to use, and we'll have to make it make sense. You don't have to worry that it has to make any sense, or all what we're talking about. That's our job. So this is like a living Mad Lib. You're going to be filling it in with us. So listen for our hesitation, and shout it out. But to get this scene started, for Eric and I need a location that would fit on the stage.
Rhode Island.
I guess it's better than Texas, which is what we normally get. Rhode Island.
Rhode Island.
Rhode Island. Oh, here it is, honey.
It's smaller than I thought it would be.
It's nice and majestic and coastal. Ah, small people as far as the eye can see.
It's like a little American Lilliputian.
We'll live like kings, dear.
Yeah. Lilliputian is a kingdom of tiny people. Travels.
You don't have to tell me, I know.
Oh, I know. You get me.
Yeah, I read all those books, you know, the one with the,
Raccoons. Crab Shack.
with the raccoons.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Those are just Ranger Ricks I've kept from childhood. I like to
color them in sometimes.
Yeah. Oh, this is lovely.
Yes.
I'm excited to try their signature dish of Rhode Island, which is, of course, the
Cigar box.
Cigar box.
Yes. It's a lot of different crab rolls rolled up on top of each other, painted brown.
And you can keep the container when you're done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They love containers here.
Oh, it's so nice. This is so much better than our last trip we took together.
I don't want to. I don't want to talk about it. It was
Westeros.
It was Westeros.
Oh, yeah.
I look too much like Hodor, so they kicked me out. So.
It's a shame.
Yeah.
None of them, no gentlemanliness of anybody. Not a single one of them held the door for you.
Not a one. They thought we were just joking.
And I personally, I found their March of Shame to be less entertaining than Disneyland when they would have the First Order soldiers march up down the street.
Yeah, it's a little weird.
Yeah.
But we're out of Westeros. We're out of Westeros. We're not gonna deal with that anymore. We're here in Rhode Island. We've got.
Look at this. It's their state bird, the penguin.
Death
The
Falcon.
dolphin.
The dolphin.
It's so majestic.
It's a flying dolphin.
Oh, it's incredible. Oh, look. There it goes again. It's beautiful. I'm so glad you took me here.
Yeah, it was us. And of course, the kids will be okay.
You think so?
Yeah.
I'm so worried about leaving them with the
Dog murderer. Tiger.
The dog murderer.
Well, we're not okay with that.
Children are safe from dog murder.
They're simple dog murderers. Unless they escalate. But I don't think that's going to happen. He was very calm. He was very cautious. The last words he said to us were,
Bob Dole.
Bob Dole. Which was weird. He was holding a pencil and had his other arm on a string. But I think that's just going to add to the lack of them coming for the kids.
Oh, I thought the things I was saying were obscure.
No.
Oh. I'm gonna miss it,
Yeah.
Going back home to the regular everyday dregs and a job at the
Cod factory.
cod factory.
Well, it's a
Fish gotta come from somewhere, right?
It's a cod/cod factory. It's fish in odd shapes in a circle.
I must have got some kind of promotion. in my ear.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You have a promotion in your ear.
Yes, sweetheart.
I would like to take this moment
No, no.
to
Break up with you.
break up with you. I
Oh,
just
you mean it?
yes.
You may be the happiest woman in the world.
So we have one final game tonight.
Yes.
Okay, we have one final game, and again, this is with our guests. This is a game called Panel of Experts. Much like our foreign expert, we'll be asking you guys for a bunch of questions, so keep them in mind. But we have gathered great minds with us. They couldn't be here tonight, so we have these folks. So with that being said, we're also going to give these guys each a suggestion about their characters. So first off, can we get a website that you would go to frequently for news?
Ask Jeeves.
Ask Jeeves. Going old school. And then can we get a magazine that you've read recently?
Boys Life.
Forbes. What was that one?
Boys Life.
Boys Life. About the Cub Scouts. That would be fun. And then finally, can we get, actually I'll say either category, so either a website or a magazine.
Magazines.com.
How bad do you want this? We're going to do magazines.com. Sure, why not? So on top of that, we also need to know what they are an expert in. So what are they an expert in the field of?
Bankruptcy.
Bankruptcy. Okay, so these will be questions about bankruptcy. Thank you all so much for coming here tonight. If I could please have you introduce yourselves. Expert number one.
Yeah, hi. My name is Elizabeth, and I'm a professional URL hoarder.
Okay.
I've been buying URLs before anyone else who needs them can have them. Then when they want something specific, they gotta come to me.
Makes sense. Thank you so much for coming, Elizabeth.
Thank you,
Expert.
Brad.
Okay, expert number two.
My name is Delroy Jones.
Okay.
Athlete. Boys like magazines.
All right, Dylan.
Gonna be worth a pretty pennies.
I'm sure they will. And then thank you so much for being here, Delroy. And contestant, not contestant, expert number three.
Yes, hello, I'm Jeeves. I'm a butler. I've bubbled. And in the meantime, when Mrs. Hanson doesn't need anything, I spend my time doing research.
Fantastic. Well, thank you all for being here.
Thank you for having us.
Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and go out into the audience. Do we have a question for our experts?
How do you know what too much debt is?
Okay, and we'll ask all three. So how much do you know, when do you know how much too much debt is?
Yeah,
Okay.
it's a weird question.
That was English in my words. Expert number one.
Well, you see, the trick is with accrued debt is when you get those letters in the mail, you throw them away. When they start calling you about your debt, you change your number. Get a burner phone. Keep it, change it, keep it up. Stay off the grid while hoarding the grid. I am both the master and invader of the interweb.
Master/Vader. Well done. So, expert number two. How do you know when you're in too much debt?
When there ain't no food in your refrigerator. That's it.
Asked and answered. Jeeves, how do you know when you're in too much debt?
Well, to know how much debt is too much debt, you would actually have to keep track of your debt. So if you actually have a number of your debt, you're not in too much debt yet. Keep going, keep going, keep going, and then you might get to too much debt. But if they're calling you and telling you and you have it written down, it's still not too much. There's never enough of anything.
Jeeves' answers go crazy. Do we have another question?
Yeah. So I've been trapped in this game of Monopoly for like 3 weeks with my friends. They just won't quit. Can you tell my brother that there's no there's no shame in going bankrupt, right? Like what happens when you just decide to say yes, I am bankrupt?
Fantastic. What happens when you admit bankruptcy in a game of Monopoly? Expert number two.
Oh well, that happened to me once. I just went in in my bedroom, pulled out a boy's life, and started reading.
Okay. So the game effectively ended, I think. Expert number 3.
So the issue seems to me to be that you're allowing this game to continue because it's not a matter of whether he wants to be bankrupt or not. If he runs out of money, the game is over and you have won. So how you get stuck in a game like this when he continues to not have money and you say it's because he's ashamed of going bankrupt, yet there's actual physical pieces of colored paper that must be in front of him for him to continue to play the game. Now if you have that money, then you can continue. If you don't, it doesn't matter if you want to call it bankrupt or a loser, but he is not.
Jeeves has some anger issues. And expert number 1.
Well, here's your problem right off the bat. You just gotta buy up all the property before you can start playing the game. Then, what's he gonna do? You have everything, right? You are his only source.
So what you're saying is you should be a board hoarder?
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough. And one funny, yes, you in the back.
I'm trying to get healthier. What's one thing that I can do to live a healthier lifestyle?
Somehow that deals with bankruptcy, we'll allow it. And contestant number 3 as Jeeves.
Yes, so what are you drinking right now?
A lot of whiskey.
Asked and answered.
Expert number 1.
Yeah, I don't know. I've been kind of avoiding the doctor a lot lately.
Okay.
And I don't know, maybe you can tell me. I got this thing.
Okay.
Okay, I mean,
Maybe you should look at WebMD then.
You know, I wanted that one, I just couldn't get to it fast enough. And the Jeeves one, they just got.
Okay.
I do have Dr. Pet.
Dr. Pet? Okay. Someone's coming for that one, sure.
You guys want Dr. Pet.com?
That's about the right response. Expert number 2.
First of all, I think in the health department you're aiming too high. Just be happy where you are. When things start hurting, go into your bedroom. Get a boy's life magazine.
All right. Well, unfortunately, we're low on time. So if I could have you just give one final word of wisdom to everybody, expert number 1.
Just be a huge pain in the butt to everybody. It'll go great, except my body is falling apart and I'm gonna die.
Expert number 2.
I think everybody knows what I'm going to say.
Expert number 3.
Don't fear the financial bankruptcy. Just set your standards lower and achieve moral bankruptcy as well, and you'll be great.
And that was our